Whoops. Let's see what's going on here. All right, let's try this again. Well, good morning, everybody. This is Dave with Nomadic e-biking adventures. And happy Labor Day, everybody. All right, I think we found the issue where their front fender was bending. There's a little tab under the front fender that is rubbing up against the new tire. Now, let me blow this up a little bit. Why is that showing straight? Well, as you can see, we're at a new location, not too far from where we just were staying. Well, happy September 1st, 2025. And we're heading on to the Suncoast Trail. Temperatures right now in the 80s. And we're going to be heading on the northern part, the second section before the very north end of the trail. Temperatures are in the 80s, real nice. There's a pretty stiff wind today, which may affect our drone footages. Yeah, so yesterday I had some little downtime. I didn't go out yesterday. Mainly I had to, that was the last day of a house sit, so I wanted to kind of clean up. And then I thought, well, you know, it was starting to rain most of the day, on and off, so I wasn't really going to go out. So I decided to fix the 3 spokes on my rear tire and check the other ones out. So it was just the 3 spokes. And then I was looking at the tread wear on the rear tire. I says, well, you know, as long as I had to take the tire off anyway, I might as well switch this tire out. So I switched the tire out, new tire in the back, and then I looked at the front, and it was low for some reason. And if you remember, I told you the front tire, when I was in Nazareth, Texas, got caked with a lot of mud. And I kept on rolling with all that mud packed underneath the front fender, and it did wear a groove into the tire itself. So I don't know if it was a start of a low flat, but I says, well, I might as well replace it as long as I got the extra tire. So I replaced the front, so I got 2 brand new tires. I never noticed that plane there before. Let's take a stop there. There's people soccer, playing soccer. This would be a great place for a helix.
Rock spotlight, helix. 20 meters, helix. 3, 2, 1.
You know, I give this thing a lot of credit. I mean, it is in the wind speeds are in the teens. And it does wobble just a little bit, but not bad. And it's got image stabilization in it, so it kind of keeps the picture fairly steady for 12 to 13 mile an hour winds. So that worked out pretty good there. I didn't notice this plane there before. Whoa, I didn't see that rope there. That would have been an owie. So yeah, I've got 2 brand new tires on here. And we are just 31 miles away from 8,000 miles on this bike. Now we're probably not going to hit it today, since this little section that we're going on, I've calculated it should be about 20 miles round trip, give or take. But probably the next time we go out. So we're going to take a nice leisurely ride today. We're staying at an Airbnb right now for the next 2 days. Tomorrow we head off to our next house sit in Hernando. And once we get to that one, I think it's going to be a neighborhood tour. And there is also a trail. That we've been on before. I forgot which highway it is. But that one does eventually hook up with a Coochie trail. So we may be going on that trail just to revisit that. So we should have a nice smooth ride with brand new tires on today. Well, funny thing is, I was on the trail yesterday, or no, it was the day before, And one of the guys put in the comment section, it says, "Hey, I saw you on the trail." I says, "Well, that's a first for me." And he was kind of describing himself. He says, "Yeah, I remember passing you by." He was wearing a full helmet with a GoPro on top of it, and I had made the comment. I says, "Wait, the guy's got a GoPro on the top of his helmet." So that was him. I forgot to ask him if he had a channel or something. But you know, sometimes people just like to film themselves, or film for the unexpected. Now, the one thing with this, I've got my gel pack on today, and I need to center my, there. All right, now we are on the Suncoast Trail. So that was only like a half mile or so to get on here. No, I take it back, 1.8 miles. Now I'll have to keep track of those shelters. This shelter here may be one of the last shelters. So if I remember last time, it really didn't have too many shelters to speak of.
Follow. Droney. 10 meters. Droney. 3, 2, 1.
All right, so we'll keep track of this one. Is this the last one? Because I know, if I remember last time, that I really didn't see too much picnic table or benches or shelters or anything. Well, one of the other things I was going to do too is we're going to go all the way to the end here where the trailhead is. And I think on the way back, since we're already covering this, we are going to put it on time lapse or time warp or whatever you want to call it. Fast forward. One neat point of interest along here is the new pedestrian flyover bridge. Definitely do a follow with the Droney on that. Hopefully the crosswinds aren't going to be too bad to grab the drone and fly it into the fence. That's what happened on the other bridge. I think a gust of wind came along, and there's a pretty good wind today. Again, we're going along the toll road, I guess it's called the Suncoast Highway. It's a toll road, and this trail basically hugs that toll road. I tell you, this bike rides really nice with brand new tires on it. And some more spandex boys. The other guy didn't wave or nod or anything. So I mentioned I recycled that first battery. That's no longer with me anymore. And I happened to look on Marketplace, and there was a guy in Orlando selling a battery. Says it's hardly been used, and he wanted $250. It's $260 brand new. So he wanted $250. And I sent him a bid. I told him, I said, I'll give you $50 for it. And then he wrote back and says, can you do at least 100? And I gave him the old, I'm on a fixed income, I'm senior, and that's about all I can do, is see what his response was. And I told him, if you can't do it, I understand. And then he wrote back, he says, no, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it for 50. I need to get at least 100 out of it. So we'll see how long it sits. I mean, I'm an hour and a half away from Orlando, so it's not like I can just run over there. So if it's still available when I get closer to Orlando, I may send him a text if it hasn't sold by then. It says, yeah, I'll give you 100, because that would save me 150 from a brand new one, because Amazon is selling one for $260 plus tax, so it's pretty close to $300 once you're done. $289 I think it was. So we'll see what happens. And maybe he'll send me a message back and says, hey, you still interested? Yeah, I'll come by. But I'll wait till I got something a little bit closer to the Orlando area. Here's another table with an awning over it. So we got one there. But I think once we cross that bridge, we're not going to go too far past it. We may just go over that bridge. And that's our turnaround point. Now tomorrow I plan on going at the far end. That's another 10 miles. No, I think it's like 20, or it'll be a 26 mile. I think it was 13 miles. We're gonna go way up there on that end, park, and take off from that trailhead. let's do a follow here in the woods. This one should be pretty easy. Look like we got a curve up here too, so.
Block, spot, follow. Far, follow. 3, 2, 1.
I screwed it up. See, it doesn't like taking right over you. It's like you gotta set it off to the side.
Follow. 3, 2, 1.
Huh?
You got a friend?
Yeah, he keeps on following me. Morning. 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 I don't know if I put my rear light on or not. It tells me I didn't. Shit. So I got both my tires inflated to 35 pounds as it's stamped on the sidewall of the tire. And I can tell it's moving a lot faster too, so. And we're going into the wind. Clearing this area out. That's all stripping the woods out of there. Must be a subdivision coming in. Too big to be one property. Well, that's quite the contract to have to strip the land of the trees. If you notice, this section of the Suncoast Trail has more dips and valleys and gentle hills. It's not terrible, but you can notice it. I haven't given my drone a name. Here's a shelter. I think we just had a couple of low riders just get off the trail. They're probably parked underneath the freeway, like a lot of people like to do, park there because it's nice and shady. Yep, here they are. A couple of low riders. I think that's where I was going to park if I was going to travel. I was undecided whether I was going to take off from the Airbnb, but I did. It's 10:36 right now in the morning. Usually this section is really not that busy, but today being Labor Day and everybody probably has the day off, there's probably more people out here than normal. I get a little braver, is manually fly the drone to a location or up or down, and then activate one of the fly modes. So for instance, if I want to do a aerial shot from the rocket, or a circle, let's say, I think what you got to do, and I haven't tried it yet, is manually elevate the drone to, I think it could go up to about I don't know what it is, like maybe 100 feet, and then activate the drone while in manual mode. I think there's you go on the next screen, you can choose a circle, and it should just do a circle from there, and then once the circle's complete, it should drift into where it took off, and then you would manually land it. I don't know. I've been kind of scratching my head about that, how to get that done. But I would need a nice open area to give it a shot. And I definitely don't know when to do it around here, especially you gotta watch your battery load. It looks like I'm down to 2 bars. 2 bars out of 4. You don't want that thing to land over on the other side of the fence, because I ain't gonna be able to jump over there and grab it. So it would have to be a nice open field to give it a shot. Nice breezy day. miles, 33 minutes on the seat. Well, this just rides really nice with brand new tires. Well, it don't look like we're too far away from the next trailhead and the pedestrian flyover. Morning. Since the last time I was here. out the battery once we get up to the turnaround up here. Keep on busting out. Miles, 41 minutes. Remember that trail camera I set up on the Van Fleet State Trail the other day? It's been about a week, and I had laid out some deer corn. Well, I've gotten let me see, 45 shots of mostly deer, some raccoon. 45 shots in a week. We'll see what happens once the corn dries up. I think I lucked out on that one. the big bridge up ahead. Let us set up the foul. If we got enough juice.
Follow. 3, 2, 1.
Hopefully the wind's not going to blow it off kilter. May have run out of juice. I don't hear it anymore. I knew that it might. Hopefully it didn't go over the fence. There it is. It's just sitting there. It lost me. All right, follow me then. Must have lost me going around the curve. See, that's the thing I gotta watch. It's got a low battery. I lost it again. Yep, must have ran out of juice. here we go. Hope you enjoyed that time warp. We're just about to get off the Suncoast Trail and head back to the Airbnb. .3 miles, hour 21 minutes on the seat. Turning out to be a real nice day out. Well, I tell you, with the new batteries, I was just about 24 to 26 miles an hour. So that was pretty good. I think with the newer tires, they roll a lot better. Well, we depleted our batteries for the drone. I think we got enough footage. I kind of was experimenting with that manual mode, and it's I don't think there's an option once you float high to put it in circle. Not that I saw. I may have to experiment a little bit more. Because there's not a way to put it in the preset patterns without hitting the buttons on the drone itself, and you really can't do that if the drone is up in the air. So watch this guy. He's racing to get out of the parking lot. Is he going to see me? Just barely. All this stuff is strapped on tight. Oh, I got a nice shot of that fighter jet. Busy little highway. It's clear there, and it's actually clear there. Oh, this is right. My screen is dark again. I didn't change out my I don't know if this is the way. Bless it all, man. Yeah. This is no outlet, but I don't remember coming down this way. Maybe I did. Yeah, I don't think these gel things are worth it. A little rough road on the way back to the Airbnb. Well guys, that's going to wrap up our ride for today, Brooksville on the Suncoast Trail. Appreciate you coming along for the ride, and we'll catch you on the next one, mañana. Until then, adios.
I'll take you anywhere. Just tell me I'll be there. We don't need a plan, I like it unprepared. Whatever comes our way, we'll stay there for the day. So dream, dream away. Clear up my vision, I want colors to find. Turned up from black and white. Find what I'm seeking, leave my troubles behind. Scars from another time. We're leaving now into the clouds. I'll take you anywhere. Just tell me I'll be there. We don't need a plan, I like it unprepared. Whatever comes our way, we'll stay there for the day. So dream, dream away. So dream, dream away. Take you anywhere. Just tell me I'll be there.
Want to travel the country without paying for hotels or rent? House sitting lets you stay in beautiful homes for free while caring for pets. I'm currently staying in a Victorian house built in 1885 in Chicago, Illinois for free, and I'll show you exactly how to get started. My free house sitting starter guide walks you through setting up your profile, landing your first house sit, and unlocking a life of travel on a budget. Link is in the description or scan the QR code now. Grab your free copy now and start house sitting today.